up, everyone? Rafael from R&R Driving, and we are basically going to talk about the other R&R Driving, True Car Guy. So we're going to start this segment of interviewing you, the owner of vehicles, with our very own Ron Thomas.
All right. So first, I want to introduce myself. My name is Ron from R&R Driving. So a little bit about myself is I've been a bona fide car guy forever. Since I was young, since I was 5 years old. Um, I remember my godfather, my father's best friend, came to the house. He used to always bring little Matchbox cars for me. That was before they had Hot Wheels. So I had some Matchbox cars, and he asked me, "What's your favorite car?" And then I said to him, "Corvette." He says, "Corvette? Why?" And I said, "Because it's fast." And that's just, I don't know. My parents were not car people. I don't know how me at 5 years old would know something like that, but that's what they found, and it's never changed since then. I've always been passionate about cars and how they drive and everything fun about them. So I am a car guy. My true passion for cars was always with Ferraris. So as I grew up, I got a little older, so I learned about little cars here and there, blah, blah, blah. But Ferrari always had um, something in my heart, and I basically, from the earlier models to some of the new modern vehicles, I can tell you in and out everything about them. Um, my favorite Ferrari of all time is the Testarossa, and again, there was an original Testarossa 1957, but that's not the one. It's the Miami Vice Testarossa, but then the 512 is the one that I would try to get if I ever had that classic car bug to bite me. Um, so my first car was my mom's Dodge Aspen. It was a clean car. It was in the family. She maintained it through her own. She bought it brand new. It was in 1976, and it was a square body car, red with the white vinyl top. And she says, this is you. You're 18, and this is your first car. And she went and bought another car, and I was like, I don't want this. This isn't even fun. So behind her back, I kind of sold it, and she was pissed off that I did because she knew the whole maintenance history. Everything was so good, no accidents on that car. But I ended up buying a little Toyota Corolla, 1977 Toyota Corolla. It was blue, and I loved it because it was a four-speed stick shift, little two-door, not a four-door family car, because that's not what I'm about. I've always liked either coupes or two-seater sports cars. So ended up getting that car, loving it. Um, did some modifications to it, headers, McCuney side draft carburetors. I 13-inch fat tires all around. Lowered the car. Had a rear spoiler on the vehicle. I loved that car. Got a whole fresh repaint job. A complete Toyota Super interior. So that car was my fun car, and I had headers on it. I remember we would just go see Miami Vice, me and my friends, and then from there, hop in our cars. We were like a little Toyota group. We had around 4, 5, or 6 Toyota guys. It was Rudy, Joseph, Jack, Caesar. We all just hopped in our cars after Miami Vice, went down to Shea Stadium in New York. That's where they had some races, some of the side races on the side of the road. And it was a lot of fun back then. So that was my first fun car. First car was a Dodge Aspen. Then, of course, my Toyota. Fast forward a few years later, ended up getting an RX-7. That was my first sports car. It was a 1979 RX-7. I loved it, loved it, loved it. That car was like my little Porsche because I would drive with the headlights up, which kind of looked like the earlier 996, the 964 911s. And then I had a little spoiler in the back, so it wasn't a whale tail. My other buddy had a whale tail on his, and that car looked awesome. But I love that car. Unfortunately, got in an accident with it. Ended up buying another one. I had from the 1979 RX-7 12A engine. That was a 5-speed. Then I went with a 1983 RX-7. So that was the SE model. More up-to-date interior. Had to have that stick. That car was Really fun. Tail happy vehicle. Did some modifications to that. Nothing too crazy. Some graphics. We did some graphic stickers on the sides as well, which made it really cool. And this was back in the 80s, in the late 80s. So this is the stuff that we were doing before what you see everybody else doing today. So not that we started it, but of course things like that were going on, and we just wanted to make the cars our own, and that's what it's all about when you're a car guy. You make it your own, and you love it, and you know, when people see you, they're like, oh, there goes Ron again with this loud car and stuff. So that's what we did. I remember even earlier, my earlier Porsche memory was we had a friend in the family. His name was Laus. He was a Frenchman. And he was selling his 914 Porsche. And my dad asked me, do I want it? And I said, it's a 914. What am I going to do with that? I don't want that car. I wanted something that I can take my friends in. And man, I think about it now. I regret that stuff. But hey, that was things that you learn, mistakes you make when you're growing up till now. So then from there, ended up with a little Sentra, family sedan. We needed something, just a first new car. It was a 93 or 91. That's when the new body style Sentra came out. I wanted to get the SER, but my girlfriend at the time didn't know how to drive a stick, and I said, no, that's okay, that's what we need to get. So we ended up getting an SE instead, brand new SE. So it had all of the SER look, the rear spoiler, the seats, but it was automatic. Didn't have the extra bigger engine with the extra horses, but it was still a fun car though. It looked cool and yet reliable, and that's what it was all about. So fast forward from there, ended up, I think good things were happening, had my own business, then the economy crashed, so I ended up in the car business, selling cars. If I knew how much fun and lucrative the car business was in, especially back then, I would have been in the car business right out of high school and making tons of money. But unfortunately, of course, it took later on in my life, but again, it didn't matter because I was in finally. So I had a little pickup truck that I had for my business, which was good, and it worked for the business. But then I switched it. I said, I don't need this. I don't want this. You know, I get those memories off from the business. So I wanted something that I could drive every day that made me feel good. That's when that came. So I bought myself my 2005 350Z. I said, this car is so cool. It was faster than my RX-7s from back in those days. It handled better. That's, of course, a 6-speed. That was my first 6-speed. My Toyota was a 4-speed. Then, of course, my RX-7s were 5-speed. This one was a 6. And I said to myself when I got it, man, this is such a great car. I'm not going to do anything to it. I'm not going to mod it. I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to keep it running and make it cool, convertible. I would have the top on even if it was cold outside. If it was burning hot, I'd put up my windows, put my AC on. Everyone thought I was crazy. That was my first convertible. And once you get caught in that convertible bug, it's hard to get out of it, as you can see. So what happened was, little by little, I said, you know what? I love the original sound of the 350Zs because they have a very distinct sound to it, and they're really cool. So I said to myself, I want to put a little exhaust. I want to make it a little more fun. I did that. Then I went out and got rims. I had 20-inch rims before. Great, but now I have 19s. 19s are the best, I believe, in my opinion, for this vehicle. It doesn't throw the balance off by much. The 20s did, but they look cool as hell. So I did that, and I think from that point on, every couple of months it was something new. It came to the point where now that car is completely fully modded. The only thing I haven't done is boost it, but I have, plenums, Osiris tunes, aluminum radiators, short shift. I mean, I've done, I think, everything that I could to it, and I think it's one of the best daily drivers that I've ever had. Reliability-wise, it's been fantastic. Premium fuel, because especially after the tune, that's what I've always put on the car anyway. I've never put anything less than premium on the car, because I wanted the car to run at its top efficiency. So, basically, I love that Z, and I love the fact that I have it still. And people tell me, why don't you sell the car, Ron? You have a Porsche now. I'm like, and do what with it? Well, you can sell it to me. I'm like, right, I get it now. But no, the Porsche is like for the weekends and my fun stuff. And then the Z is my daily driver. So whichever car I'm in, they always call the Z the poor man's Porsche. That's my poor man's Porsche, and that's my Porsche. So I'm in no way mechanically inclined. I can't do hardly anything myself. I always try to basically get it. It's just a lack of patience. I think if I apply myself, I could probably do a lot of the things, but I don't have to, I get frustrated when I'm missing a tool or I can't fit my hand in. That's because I got big man hands. Yes, I do. And when you try to squeeze it into little spots, it just doesn't work. So if I had saved the money, I would have been able to double the stuff to my car because I always have to pay someone to do something. So this whole point now with this channel is me and Ralph, we're going to be doing little projects together. We're going to try to fix things, and we're going to capture it all. So it's all part of stuff like that, so it's going to be a lot of fun. But I'm going to learn as I go at my older age on fixing cars and things like that. My passion doesn't just, it's not about the car too, it's the drive. It's the emotion that I get when I drive a vehicle. That's why both of my cars are stick, both 6-speed. I didn't go with any PDKs or paddle shifters with the Porsche. I wanted a stick because I wanted something that when I drive, I get that emotion, and everything is so mechanical. You know, even my shifter on that car is a shorter shifter, and I changed my final gear on that, so everything really feels mechanical about the vehicle. When I tend to drive that car, I tend to drive with the VDC off because, again, I want to feel the car. I don't want anything to stop me. If I'm going to slide, let me just correct it. You know what I mean? Just keep it fun. This one I'm still learning a little bit because, of course, the rear engine, I'm afraid of that pendulum effect. So I tend to keep the VDC on, or the Porsche management system running on this one, so I don't try to play with it too much. That I can play with all day, and I have a lot of fun with it. And I've done some modding to this vehicle as well. So again, it's all about the passion of the drive with me and the emotion that I get becoming one with the vehicle on the roads, downshifting, heel towing, and just listening to the exhaust. I think when you have a sports car, you gotta modify the exhaust. So I've done both cars, both exhaust, fast speed with this one, with my exhaust, and my intake with fast speed as well. Fantastic. There's a couple of other things I want to do to it, not so much. Both of my cars are lowered BC Racing coilovers, Olin coilovers for my Porsche, and again, the lower stance, the car just looks mean when it's coming down on the road. Externally, it's pretty stock, but I'm planning to do some things to really kind of make it, again, my own and stand out, but I don't want to do too much stuff. That I did a lot, but I think, in my opinion, it was done tastefully. So again, future goals for myself is I want to basically fix my garage studio, so I want to be able to take it away from the storage status that it's in to put it into a true man cave. It's always been my dream since I've had the house built, and I wanted it to be a man cave, but life takes over and business and work, and you never have time. But I think now I'm at a stage in my life where I want this stuff taken care of for my fulfillment and my fun and sanity, and of course have a nice little place that we can all hang out and do some interviews with some of our people that we're going to be doing and stuff. So future cars. This is where it gets fun. My future cars is, again, I'm a kind of guy that I buy things that I like and I keep them. I bought that in 2009, and I still own it. And again, I love it. So I kind of keep things. I don't like to let go. I hate change. That's just how I've been. My Porsche, I feel, again, lucky and blessed that I'm able to buy it, and I bought it. So it's more, what am I going to add to the collection more so than trade out with? So two cars that I would consider: the Porsche Carrera T or the GT3 Touring. And again, I'm not a track guy. I love driving on a track, don't get me wrong, but it's not something that I do so often that it's worth getting a car with PDK and track, prowesses like a true GT3 or GT3 RS. I feel, in my opinion, I do more street driving. I drive very spiritedly. That's a good, safe word to use. I like the feel of the car, downshifting, again, like I stated, and they both would have to be stick, for sure. For sure. So that's the future plans if everything works out the way I'd like. Last question. 3-car garage. What is the dream cars? And I gotta think of my situation. It's me and my girlfriend. her 13-year-old son Gabe. Uh, 3 cars. If money was no object, I think we need just one practical car for us. The practical car would probably be a Porsche Panamera. I think no money object, either GTS or a turbo, wouldn't matter between the two, but that would be what I'd want with a lot of the goodies. I'm a goodies guys. I like goodies. I love that stuff. But of course, peace. So then I would need a daily sports car. That's where it would be probably the GT3 Touring or the Carrera T. I've learned so much about Porsches, and I've been amazed with their history and their drivability since, day one, since Ferdinand Porsche came out with the 356s. They've been fun, fantastic cars for each era as it grows and it basically evolves into the next iteration of that car. The last car in the specialty car garage would definitely be a LaFerrari. There's no way that I would not own a Ferrari. And why not go for the top, the cream of the crop, the LaFerrari? And that would have to be an anniversary red, just because any of the anniversaries, respectfully, should be in red. Any other Ferrari I would ever own would be in every other color but red. But any anniversary Ferrari would have to be red, in my opinion. That's just part of the passion. So that's me. And I hope that you enjoy it, and definitely looking forward for more interviews like this with everyone else. So if you definitely want to get interviewed, get in touch with us. R&R Driving. Our information is going to be in the script and that description in the bottom. So definitely click. Don't forget, tell your friends about us. Share, like, and subscribe. Thank you very much.